You ever liked somebody, like in high school or something, and they don't like you back, and then you ask yourself a hard question like, "Why do I suck?" Basically. Well, it's kind of like with the sublimation thing I mentioned earlier. What you should do in that situation is see how you can use that to your advantage and better yourself, right? So the song's kind of about that. It's called Implode. Because what we thought we were, we might not have to be, right? Here we go. Oh, an interesting thing from a music, since we have some musicians, so it's kind of neat. I wrote the song, it's in C, but it doesn't resolve until the beginning of the first chorus. So it has this long, tense part for all the verses. So it's like a two, what is it? A two, I don't know, I can't really think about it. Oh, yeah, A minor. So anyway, whatever. It's a really weird progression. You don't get a one for like a long time, but I kind of like that about it. I think it's kind of neat. Anyway, here we go. Sometimes we fall apart, pieces collapsing on us and start growing from within, and new forms live again. Somewhere we lost sight of ourselves and became like a ghost who doesn't know he's dead. All these things we feel we need burden us eternally. So we implode, but our knowledge grows such a heavy load. Somewhere we lost sight of ourselves and
Hey, what's up? It's Casey Sizemore.
Brandon Romano.
With Any City Music's Double Vision, Episode 3. Let's see, October 4th, I went and checked out the Songwriter Showcase at the Boss Light Bookstore. Chris Edwards, Johnny Ray, Tim Bryant, the owner, performed, and Heath Rogers. It was pretty cool. This is the first time they had done that at the bookstore, which is kind of interesting. And again, the owner, Bryant, had said something along the lines that it kind of stemmed out of their live poetry readings and that kind of stuff, so it's kind of interesting. Well, anyways, each performer, songwriter, did 3 originals and a cover. And they did a great job entertaining the crowd and explaining what inspired their songs and kind of where they come from, how they wrote them. As well as like answering questions from the crowd about the songs, their songwriting, that kind of stuff. So it was really kind of a small kind of gathering. It was rather interesting. So if you haven't been to Boss Light, I highly recommend it. I read a lot, but not a lot of books, and should probably read more, so it's pretty cool to go in there. But that is not all they have. They have an array of art and that kind of stuff, a lot of local artists. In fact, it might be all local artists. But they also hold albums for local or sell albums for local artists as well, like the Rust and a few other people. Dead Chachi's had some memorabilia. I think I saw their album. I'm not sure though. I did see a sticker. But anyways, so if you're ever in the area, definitely check that out. It's in downtown Nacogdoches.
So I'm gonna do one that I wrote recently. This is called Weathering or Withering. And it goes a little something like this. It's a funny thing about laughter and luck. Eventually both of their numbers come up, but somewhere between the beastly and the beautiful things, you may find a fresh warm cup of meaning. It's hidden in places you forgot to look, like a photo tucked in between the pages of an old book. But it's a shame when your mind brings to host the notions you grew up fearing the most. Well, it's a withering, y'all was stuck between the two. We're all just hanging around. It's all we know to do.
Wrote this one for a really good friend of mine who, this is another, I wrote this song, I kid you not, 10 minutes maybe. And it just came out, and the music came out at the same time, and I wasn't planning to write it. It just came gushing out, and I didn't change anything because when it comes out like that, you trust it. So it's simple, but every word of it came out just right, I think. So, and I wrote it in my 54th year, and it's called 54 Years. It's kind of a country influenced song, I guess, maybe. I don't know what influenced it. I stayed up last night thinking one thing I could do. One thing that I could say, if I could say one thing to you. Life ain't nothing but a long 54 years from today, I'll love you the best. I have an EP coming out at some point with 6 songs on it. And this is, thank you, thanks, yeah. Whenever it gets put out. And I wrote this song on the piano, and it's kind of formulaic, but I like that. I did that on purpose, and I left, I was writing a lot of just kind of ambient mood music on the piano, and then taking a break from that, I just kind of come up with this, and the chords are pretty simple, but, and then I added this part at the end because it's going to be the closer to the EP, so I came up with this part, you know, that was just going to close it with a bang, you know. And then I left this long part in the middle because I kind of wrote it to have like kind of a piano ballad, but then in the middle I just left this wide open spot for my friend Grady to just go crazy playing guitar over, because I thought that would be fun. Just have a long jam, you know, guitar jam. And he seemed to be up for it, so that was cool. So, all right, and this song's about being poor and not having a future, and so which is something I feel pretty regularly. But also, like, I think a lot of people from the young generation, you know, they don't feel the American dream working for them as much as their parents, and I'm just kind of trying to jump on that bandwagon to get them to like my song. So I hope that works. So here we go. We'll try to sing it. Let's see here. Oh yeah, it's like chopping broccoli chords. Oh yeah, it's tried and true. I just go to whatever works. That could be my cover song if you want. Yeah, we've been down on love, and we don't need that much. We don't need you looking down on us as we try to bleed anonymous. And it's a lonely road that I've been down before, just trying to make it through these days unscathed, and the rest is just afterthoughts, and at best it's only afterthoughts of your chest. It's all just afterthoughts when it's gone, gone, gone. This is the part where Grady's supposed to be playing the guitar. Or is this the middle 8? Is this what this is?
Anyways, speaking of local artists at Boss Light and albums and that kind of stuff, that kind of brings us to what me and Brandy have been talking about wanting to do a video on. It's kind of our favorite albums, local albums. So without further ado, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
No, I'll go first, I suppose.
All right.
Yeah, albums or album covers?
Album covers.
All right, yeah.
Sorry, album covers.
Yeah. So, first one probably Deftones White Pony. Just a simple, clean cover. Solid background, silhouette of a pony in the corner. And then Meatloaf's Bad Outta Hell. Listened to a lot of my dad's music growing up, and that album cover pretty much was the defining image of rock and roll from my early childhood.
Yeah, I can see that. Totally see that. All right, so that it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I got a couple of them The Velvet Underground self-titled album from 1967 with Andy Warhol's Banana. That just always was really cool. I'm kind of a Warhol fan, just my taste. But apparently 67 was a good year for album art because that's the same year the Beatles released their 8th album, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, which has a really cool album, especially for its time. It's a lot going on there. But just a couple years later, in '69, Led Zeppelin released their self-titled debut album featuring the Burning Hindenburg, which was photographed by Sam Shear in May of 1937, which I thought that was really cool. But my all-time favorite, I have to go with Spinal Tap. Because, you know, could it be any more black? No more black. Something like that. But yeah, and it's everything that the Beatles' White Album is not. Think about that one. So moving on, moving on with albums. Ocean's Ego is hosting their release party at Macklemore's on Friday, October 19th, featuring acoustic performance with Dave Sellers and Jacob Deering, which looks like it's going to be a good time. However, we were given the opportunity for a sneak listen, I guess is what you would say, of the album, and I think it's great. What do you think?
I thought it was pretty awesome, man. Everything was really tight. All the beats and notes came through really crisp, and it was aggressive, a little elegant. Pretty much everything I've come to expect from the live performances. So.
Yeah. Well,
it was good.
Yeah, it was. It was really nice. Well, the band explained the album, which is titled Cerebral Orange, and they said it is intended to be listened to in like one sitting, you know, and that's about 46 minutes, something like that. Well, my opinion, it is well worth the purchase and the listen. It's got amazing guitar licks, of course, and bass lines, and the drums were on point. But I think what I noticed most was the band's use of time and space in the music. It went from highly packed riffs and lightning-fast thrashes of bass and guitar to more spread out, spacious, almost invoking like a desert-like feeling. You know, like kind of like you're out in the desert. I guess, you know, on a horse with no name, but I figure if I was on a desert, I'd give him a name. That's, you know, my thing. But anyways, it kind of has this real spacious feeling. The band, as far as their album art, they explained it to me a little bit and said that they had stumbled on it with the photo somewhere online, and after somewhat of a search, they found the photographer and received the consent to use the photo. After some mild alterations to it, a little bit of image alterations, touch-ups, I guess, it looks real clean, and it really kind of embodies the album real good. And if once you get to listen to it, you just kind of look at the album cover for a little bit, and it kind of starts to, it just makes sense. It's just really clean. I was told the original image reminded the band of like this eyeball world-like thing, I guess whatever it is that they would use on social media, and that's part of the reason that they chose it. You know, whatever. But in all, from the front to the back cover and each track in the middle, the album takes you on a mental journey and resolves itself peacefully. So good job, and I definitely recommend you guys check it out. In other news, Any City Music has finally got a logo. We're going to put it somewhere
over here.
Right here. Yeah, I'll tell them about the website.
Yeah, we'll be taking the website down for a while till we get it redesigned a bit, change things up a little. Yeah, don't really know exactly how long that'll be, but
we'll get there when we get there. But I hope y'all like the design of the logo. Special thanks to Jacob Deering or Fred Limston, I think. Is that how you say it?
I believe so. Yeah, Fred Limston.
Okay.
Limston.
Okay. Yeah. Whichever one he is, but one of those two guys, one guy. made the logo for us. So we are very, very appreciative to him for that. So, not anything else to say. I guess take it easy and see you on the next episode.
Later, guys.